Every iconic organization, from Apple to Ford, is haunted by one terrifying question: what happens when the visionary is gone? When the one person whose personality, drive, and genius defines the entire enterprise suddenly vanishes, a vacuum is created. And vacuums in business, like in nature, are incredibly violent. On September 10th, Turning Point USA, an $80 million nonprofit empire, was slammed headfirst into this very crisis. Its founder, Charlie Kirk, wasn't just the CEO. He was the brand, the chief fundraiser, and the movement's undeniable center of gravity. So today, we're not asking a political question. We're conducting a business analysis. The promise is this: by the end of this video, you will understand the three critical challenges that determine whether an organization like TPUSA thrives, stagnates, or collapses after losing its leader. This is a masterclass in what strategists call key person risk, and the lessons apply to any organization built around a single, powerful personality. The first and most immediate challenge is the sheer scale of the vacuum Kirk left behind. To understand this, you have to understand the concept of key person risk. In simple terms, it's the danger an organization faces when its success, survival, and funding are overwhelmingly dependent on one single individual. And at Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk was the ultimate key person. He wasn't just the lead singer of the band, he was the songwriter, the manager, and the guy who sold all the merchandise. He was the face on the posters, the voice on the podcasts, and most importantly, the handshake that secured millions in donations. When you lose a figure like that, you don't just lose a leader. You lose your chief product, your lead salesman, and your head of investor relations all at once. The entire operational and financial model of the organization is now in question. This leads directly to the second challenge, the impossible succession. Following a tragedy, a successor has to step into impossibly large shoes, often while grieving. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, has courageously vowed to continue his work. But the task she or any successor faces is monumental. It's not just about taking over a title, it's about inheriting a mantle of charisma and trust that was built over a decade. Can a new leader command the same loyalty from mega-donors? Can they energize a base of thousands of student activists who were drawn in by the founder's specific personality? This isn't a normal leadership transition. It's more like asking Tim Cook to get on stage in 2011 and not just run Apple, but be Steve Jobs. It's an unfair and almost impossible expectation. The new leader has to forge their own identity while simultaneously honoring the founder's legacy, all under the intense scrutiny of supporters and critics alike. And that brings us to the third, and perhaps most existential, challenge: the battle for the organization's soul. Founder-led movements are defined by their founder's energy. Turning Point USA's brand was built on Kirk's persona: rebellious, provocative, and relentlessly energetic. Can that identity survive without him? This is the core strategic dilemma. Does the organization try to find a new Charlie, someone who mimics his style and energy, which often fails, or does it pivot? Does it evolve from a personality-driven movement into a more structured, mission-driven institution? This is the exact crossroads Apple faced. They didn't try to find another mystical product visionary. They embraced Tim Cook, an operational genius who brought stability and scale. Turning Point USA now has to decide what it wants to be. Will it be a perpetual tribute to its founder, or will it become something new that can outlive him? It's a tough question. What do you think is harder for an organization to replace, a founder's unique vision, or their proven ability to raise money? I'd be fascinated to read your thoughts in the comments. We set out to analyze whether Turning Point USA can survive without its visionary. The promise was to give you the framework to understand that challenge. And as we've seen, the path forward depends on navigating three immense hurdles: filling the operational vacuum left by an ultimate key person, managing an almost impossible leadership succession, and winning the internal battle for the organization's future identity.